About 4.5 billion years ago, a rogue Mars-sized planet named Theia hurtled toward the young Earth at 15 kilometers a second. The impact liquefied both planets on contact and blasted trillions of tons of red-hot rubble into orbit. Over 1,000 years, gravity pulled that orbiting debris together to form the Moon. Because of its mass, the Moon acted as a gravitational brake. It slowed Earth's chaotic spin and locked our planetary axis at a permanent 23.5-degree tilt. Apollo 15 astronauts brought back lunar soil samples containing basaltic rocks and oxygen isotopes that match Earth's mantle with startling precision. The Moon is essentially a shattered piece of our own planet. Earth now had a stabilized axis, but it was still a dry desert of cooling lava. The water arrived during a 20-million-year period called the Heavy Bombardment. Millions of meteors, carrying microscopic ice crystals, rained down relentlessly. As the rock cooled, those ice crystals melted and pooled to form our oceans. If Theia misses Earth, we have no moon to regulate our oceanic tides, and no axial tilt to give us the changing seasons. If the meteor bombardment never happens, our planet remains dry. The destruction of Earth's early crust delivered our life support system. Deep at the bottom of these new oceans, extreme heat from the Earth's molten core seeped up through cracks in the crust. This high-pressure chemical soup mixed with amino acids delivered by the meteorites, sparking the planet's first single-celled bacteria. For hundreds of millions of years, life stalled. Then came stromatolites, stunted rocky mounds made of living bacterial colonies. They evolved a mechanical process to turn sunlight and carbon dioxide into simple sugars. As a byproduct of this photosynthesis, they pumped out a gas the planet had almost no supply of: oxygen. As oxygen flooded the oceans, it reacted with dissolved iron, creating the deep red layers of banded iron formations found in the crust today. These ancient bacteria were rusting the seas. But this new oxygen came with an unintended consequence. It destroyed the methane and carbon dioxide, keeping the planet warm. Without those greenhouse gases to trap the sun's heat, global temperatures plummeted to -50 degrees Celsius. Ice sheets up to 3 kilometers thick entombed the entire globe. Earth was trapped in a deep freeze for 15 million years. The only thing capable of breaking the ice was the planet's own molten core. Massive supervolcanoes pushed upward, violently ripping through the weak points in the global ice sheet. They pumped billions of tons of carbon dioxide back into the sky, trapping the heat once again and rapidly thawing the glaciers. The exact organisms that manufactured the oxygen we breathe nearly froze the entire planet to death. It required a global volcanic reboot to keep life moving forward. Evolution requires space to grow, and that space is cleared through mass death. 250 million years ago, during the Permian extinction, a massive plume of magma broke through the Siberian crust. The landscape erupted, covering an area the size of the United States and a layer of molten rock 6 kilometers deep. The heat from those eruptions melted vast pockets of frozen methane trapped beneath the seabed. This highly potent gas bubbled into the atmosphere, spiking global temperatures by an additional 6 degrees. The resulting acid rain and extreme heat suffocated 95% of all living species. The 5% of life that survived this hellscape was handed a blank slate. They adapted, grew larger, and eventually evolved into the dinosaurs. These massive reptiles monopolized Earth's resources and suppressed the growth of smaller species for the next 165 million years. That monopoly ended 65 million years ago. A 10-kilometer asteroid traveling faster than a bullet slammed into the shallow waters of the Yucatan Peninsula. The impact vaporized the rock instantly, unleashing the energy of millions of nuclear weapons. Ash and smoke blacked out the sun for months. The plants died, and the giant reptiles starved. But a specific group of small animals survived the intense heat and the starvation by burrowing deep underground and eating insects and scraps. Those animals were the early mammals. The math of our evolution is entirely dependent on this disaster. If that asteroid misses the Yucatan Peninsula by a fraction of a degree, the dinosaurs survive. The small mammals remain trapped at the bottom of the food chain, and human beings never get the biological opportunity to exist. Even with the dinosaurs gone, the Earth's restless mechanics had to intervene one last time. As tectonic plates shifted, the Indian plate slammed into Asia. The immense pressure forced the rock upward into the jet stream, creating the towering peaks of the Himalayas and altering global weather patterns. Further west, the Earth's crust tore apart, creating Africa's Great Rift Alley. The newly formed mountain ridges acted as a massive physical wall, blocking moisture coming off the Indian Ocean. The lush rainforests that blanketed the region quickly dried out, replaced by flat, arid savanna. This local climate collapse forced a biological adaptation. A specific species of forest-dwelling primate lost its tree canopy. To spot predators in the tall grass and scavenge for food across wide distances, they were forced to stand upright on two legs. Bipedalism was born out of habitat destruction. Which brings us back to the original question. How did a toxic, boiling rock floating in a dark, empty void become the only known sanctuary for life in the universe? Our existence is the result of 1 billion cosmic tragedies. Earth had to be destroyed, frozen, and melted over and over again to forge the exact conditions for our survival.